Welcome members to another weekly market update. It's 18th of August was when the market closed, and today's 20th Sunday. Check the other chart as always, the other video as always, because that's where we talk about the short and long-term trend. And the long-term trend, while still being bull market, the short-term trend's definitely turned down at last. Well, that's what should be happening over the next week anyway. So let's turn to some individual trades, and as you recall, over the last few weeks I've been getting increasingly cautious, and it seems for good reason now, as we see this correction looking like it's getting underway, which is why I've not been opening new trades. The trades I did open were only half positions and taking profits on existing ones, etc. So we're not here to trade stocks. We're here to make money. And that, if that means sitting on the sidelines and watching for a little bit or doing something else, then then all well and good. We're not just trading for the sake of it. So having said that, let's catch up with a few things. There's the Korean stock market. Last week, as I explained, it broke below that sort of support around there, and then what happened is let's just check the dates here. So the 11th. Yeah, so that was last weekend, and I did say that there could be a pullback after the break, which is often the case, and there it is. It's pretty clean actually, right there. After the break, it's done a nice little pullback, and then what should happen now is it just turns back round again. But that actually provides quite a nice entry point now to short that market with Koru, I think was the vehicle I could trade with on IG Index, so I could sell that one now, which is something to keep busy with while the stock market goes down, and that fits in with the thesis, because typically what happens if there's corrections, money will head towards out of what's called risk-on markets like Korea and so on. The yen is determined to frustrate me. It's been doing all kinds of weird things, dancing around up here on very low volume, all of it. Had this bounce here, and then a very indecisive thing, along with gold actually. Gold and the yen just didn't know what to do, didn't know what to make of this on Friday. I look at the weekly chart and I still see an aggressive downtrend and a yen that's getting way ahead of itself, and it has to defy this dramatically downwards moving average. And here's a line of resistance line that might be forming around 88 on the weekly chart, and I said I was going to get out if it gets much higher than that. So let's see if it happens now, if it just turns around now and heads downwards. Speaking of gold, there is some interesting action that I've noticed. There is here what's been forming as what's called a double bottom, and it's here. It's like a W, like that, and that's actually a correct one, because the second low is supposed to be lower than that one there. So this double bottom, or W pattern, whatever, forms, and then once the top of the W gets broken out of, so we can draw. Here's the three peaks of the W there. Then that should mean a rise. So there's the weekly chart, and actually that was last Sunday we would have seen that. There's a break above that. What's that? Double bottom right there, and that is a pretty good double bottom. So gold could be, and it's consolidated a little bit this week. So gold actually could be making the start of a big move upwards again. That's quite a bullish formation there that's going on. If we tune into the daily chart, there's a similar sort of story, only it's got another double bottom. You can see the double bottom here. Now the weekly pattern longer term is the more powerful, but it's longer term. So longer term, we could be saying, look, gold's going up. Shorter term, what we see here actually looks like it's not quite as clear cut. What we're seeing here is a clear line of resistance at around 123. Gold has not yet got over. So longer term, I see this as the start of the move. Shorter term, actually for when we're going to might get in on this trade, is coming up, because if we've got our own little W pattern here for a shorter term, there's the double bottom. So big picture is saying, look, gold's going up. Short term, well, when do we get in then? So there's that there's the W, and there's the top. So we've got our own kind of different set of features down here. That's about it, give or take. So it would have been nice on Friday had it cleared that, and then it would have been a green light for both short and long term. Short term, gold would still say, okay, well, might be have a bit more time. So what I'm looking at here is if I think we get gold, this GLD, which is the proxy for gold, about 123.50, then I think that really could be a green light for a nice gold trade. Looking at gold miners, like ones that have done very well, like Royal Gold before, these could all be back on the table coming up shortly, which could be some nice trades ahead there. So keeping an eye on that. What else have we got here? Let's look at a couple of individual trades that I kind of had little bets on. And they might just be, the tile is just hanging in there. That's very respectful here. See how on the intraday it went below. This is why I only go by the closing price, because by the end of the day, no, it was back up there, and that's my line in the sand on this one, is the 200-day moving average, and this thing really respects it. So still in on that one, and I believe that was the only one currently open. Let's just check in on any currencies. The pound is holding up nicely above the 40-week 200-day, and there we see it. But still got some significant resistance to overcome. Sorry, that's the yen. FXB is the pound. I thought I'd let the familiar that chart. So here's the pound. And it's doing fine. What I really want to see is I want to see the 40-week curl back up above the 70-week, and then it really could be game on for that one. Euro, as I mentioned last week, is getting overvalued, and it could just be turning around now for what would actually be a healthy pullback. And this all fits the thesis with the market correction. Again, money gets pulled out of the non-dollar currencies typically. So opportunities on the radar. Short-term correction at hand. One stock trade open. Looking, as I say, the shorting the Korean index looks like a great entry point now, and still in the yen trade, and gold looking promising for the waiting for the short-term queue there to get in on that one. And if it comes to the actual overall market itself, actually, this is that if one was so inclined, you could just short the overall market with things like the SPXS. By buying that, it goes up when the market goes down, and it has seen some heavy buying volume recently actually. And same with the let's look at the VIXI. I looked at that last week, and we're seeing persistent buying volume now. Those grey bars there pushing up, so that could be another sign. So there's various ways of shorting the market should you feel inclined, and the signs certainly are saying that we have a correction coming. So let's see what happens next, and I will actually next Sunday I'm going to do the videos probably next Monday, because I am in transit over the following weekend. So I will speak to you sometime next week.